this is intro to contact staff. The first thing that we did was we balanced the stick on our fingers at the front, and you push forwards to roll it up to your chest. And try and keep your hands and your arms relatively flat during this process, so pull back. Yep, and pull forwards, or push forwards. So the hands raise a tiny bit, but you see how the hands are still flat to the floor. So you go backwards and forwards. As with most moves in contact staff, the weight is opposite. So when it's at the front, your weight is at the back, and when the staff is at the back, your weight is at the front. And most of the time, for most of the tricks, the weight's in opposite, and this shift in balance really helps propel the staff. The next thing we did was we turned with that move, and we brought it up into our shoulder to roll it down. Hold on, let me just remember what it was. Yeah, hand flat like this. There was a turning, and then we come up, and the hand goes behind the head onto the shoulder, and then you push forward with your hand, and you reach forwards and up into a balance again, down onto the head, roll forwards, and that's where the pushing forwards comes from. That part where you let go, when it's here, you spin around, and then you reach forwards, you lean forwards. That gives the staff the green light to go. So you spin around, you have the balance, and then you lean forwards, and then it gives it the roll. And you can do this continuously. So roll, catch, drop, roll, catch, drop, roll, catch, drop. You notice how I'm turning on the drop? That's to get the momentum on the staff and to get my body out of the way. So again, roll, catch, drop, roll, catch, drop, roll, catch, drop, spin. Yeah, so the spin's really useful there to get the momentum. And yeah, the two versions of that was one was in the back of the hands and one you catch. Yeah. Okay, next bit. The next thing that we taught was this section. I can't do, you know, this section, hands on the... So you want your hands at the end of the grip. So once your hands go to the end of the grip, the first thing you do is have it flat to the floor, and you spin around in a circle and have this balance nice and straight. So his hands are not moving. If you imagine you're inside of a ball and you're spinning around and both hands are touching the ball all the way around. If your hand comes off the ball, it means you're bending your elbow. So now we do this, now with more diagonal. So as you go around, it's more diagonal. And the staff does not move, it's always touching you. And if you bend your elbow, it's going to fail. So do an example. So go around and pull, bend one elbow. It does that. So if that happens, the reason is your hands are coming off the inside of the ball, if you imagine. So you see how both hands are making a perfect circle. So you can turn in both directions, and it's quite fun. The next one that we did from that was a throw. So you throw both hands up equally. Start with a flat throw. So you do a flat throw, and you see how he's catching it at the top. He's catching it and bringing it down slowly. Now, if it's hitting your hands, you're doing it wrong. It should be landing really gently on your hands with no noise, no banging. This may come with time and practice. And then you do that with the rotation. So you bring both hands up together, and then you give one hand more push. So they both come up together, and one hand pushes harder than the other one. And you see how the hand that's on the bottom for the throw is the hand that catches at the top for the catch. So your hands swap. So whichever hand's on top, you swap them around. And that way you catch it nice and early, and it doesn't hurt your hands. So you can do this in both directions, and you can combine this with the turn. So you can do the turn, and the throw in any order. And you can throw it in the opposite direction that you turn. It's a little bit more difficult, but it looks kind of cool. So turn one way, do an extension one way, and throw the opposite way. Yeah. And again, anti-spin throw, yeah, so extension one way, throw, that's the same side. So extension, and throw with the opposite hand. Yeah. Opposite throw. Anyway, you get the idea. The next one was stalling. So as if you're going to high-five someone to the side of you, the hand that's on the bottom doesn't move, it stays still, and the hand at the top goes up and down, and the idea is to pull it back before it falls over. So he's going up, hits the point, and because it's vertical it's going to fall down, so you pull it back quickly. If you're struggling, make a fist, and it means your hand bends backwards more, and it's slightly easier. And now you can combine this with a throw, so you can do a stall and a throw, or a throw and a stall, do a throw into a stall. Box stall. Yep, stall and stall, throw, stall on the left, throw, stall on the right, throw, stall on the left, throw. Yep. And then you can add extensions in any order, so you can combine these 3 tricks in like a freestyle motion if you wish. So you can throw it and stall it and catch it and turn in any way, in any direction, and you can mix and match them all. So there's quite a lot of combinations here, which is super fun. The last thing that we did was one hand throw. So you put your hands at the end of the grip, do throws, and slowly make your hands closer and closer and closer, and you'll notice that the staff has to throw a little bit quicker and quicker each time. With less height, you have to do faster speed, and then take one hand away, and then you do the same throw but with one hand. And if you really want to be fun, you can drop the stick onto your foot and do the same shape with your foot, the same timing as with your foot. Let me try. So you have so you got bounce, 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 bounce. Wow, that's terrible. I'm falling over. And you can do it continuously on your feet, and you can swap and do that, and you can make all sorts of lines and stuff with the center point. It's really fun, but I guess that's a bit more challenging. The next thing we did was some partner stuff. So the basic partner things was balancing on the back of the hands, and we go around, and then we swap. They go around, and they swap it onto you. So both times it's right hand to right hand. Right hand to right hand, round, right hand to right hand, right hand to right hand. Now if you change hands, you can still do it. Like there's my left hand, and you can swap to left hand. So just doing all the different combinations, left to left, right to right, right to left, left to right, is really good. And then instead of doing it facing each other, you can go through the gap. So if I turn, you go through this gap, and then we're like facing the same way, if that makes sense. And then he turns, I go through that gap right here. I turn, I do a whole turn just to make it easier. You go through the gap, you take the stick, you turn, I go through the gap, you go through the gap right there, you turn, I go through the gap. And yeah, there's a different type. So instead of taking from the front of each other, you're taking from the same side. And then the last one we did was a partner back-to-back passing. So you stand, after doing these swaps, you stand back-to-back, and you swap hands in front of you, and you swap hands to the side of you. So it's a balance on the back of your fingers. Open your fingers all the way in the middle. So you swap at the side. You swap at the front to yourself, so you go from right to left, and then swap person, swap hands, swap person, swap hands. And then you can take out one person, so one person can go forwards and do a trick, and then you can go round and pass it at the back again. And it builds, I mean, for now, just exit and just do one turn with it balanced on your hand, and then go back into the passing at the back, and then go forwards, turn around, go back, pass, You need to swap hands, yeah. Forward, swap hands, turn, and then swap. So you can do stuff like this. This is back-to-back passing. So the 3 different families, you got back-to-back passing, front-to-front passing, and same-side passing. And that was pretty much all of the staff workshop, I think, all the partner stuff.